Okay, so you've probably seen the buzz, right? That first look at the Fantastic Four, first steps just landed.
Yeah, everyone's talking about the whole retro look, which is cool.
It is. But there's something much, much bigger going on there, I think.
Yeah.
Something that might actually, shift the whole power balance in the MCU.
Absolutely. We're going to dive deep into that today, specifically the arrival of Franklin Richards.
Reed Richards and Sue Storm's kid.
Exactly. And the really fascinating part is just how powerful he might be. We're looking at sources like a Screen Rant piece suggesting his abilities could totally dwarf even Wanda and Vision's kids.
Right. Which is saying something. So, okay, our mission for this deep dive. Let's really unpack Franklin Richards' power level. Why is his introduction such a massive deal for the MCU?
And we'll be leaning on that Screen Rant article, the one titled Why Reed Richards and Sue Storm's Child is More Powerful Than Scarlet Witch and Visions. It lays out a pretty strong case.
Okay, let's set the scene then. The Fantastic Four. First steps. When's it hitting screens again?
July 25th, 2025. So still a little ways off.
Right. And the trailer, it gives off this amazing 1960s vibe, but like futuristic 60s.
Yeah, retro-futuristic. It's a really distinct look and alternate reality feel.
Super cool visuals. But, okay, beyond the aesthetics, this film is going somewhere. The other Fantastic Four movies just, well, didn't.
Mm-hmm. With Reed and Sue's relationship?
Yeah, really big development there.
It's confirmed, right? From the trailer, Sue Storm is pregnant.
With Reed's child, yeah. That's huge for their on-screen story.
And it directly sets up Franklin Richards' introduction.
Now, for anyone maybe not super deep in the comics, Franklin's been around a while. He first showed up back in, what, 68?
Yeah, Fantastic Four Annual, #6, 1968. And they do have another kid in the comics, Valeria, but she came much later, like 1999.
So Franklin's the first.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is how the movie seems to be handling it. Reed and Sue, they're already married.
Looks that way, yeah. Starting off married, and then the pregnancy is part of the story. We might even see Franklin born in the movie.
Which is totally new for the films.
Yeah.
None of the others even touch this storyline.
Not at all. It makes this MCU debut feel, well, pretty significant from the get-go.
It really signals something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Marvel isn't just hitting reset. They're bringing in Franklin, who, I mean, in the comics, his power level is just insane.
Oh, completely. We're talking beyond Omega-level mutant powers.
And just to remind everyone, Omega level, that's like the absolute top tier for mutants, right? Reality-shaping kind of power.
Exactly. Immense universe-altering potential. So bringing Franklin in, he's not just another super kid. He could genuinely change the game.
Which naturally brings up that comparison.
Yeah.
Franklin versus Billy and Tommy Maximoff.
Right. Wanda and Vision's twins. We saw them pop up in WandaVision, of course. Billy showed up first, I think.
Yeah, episode 3, now in color.
Yeah.
And they definitely made an impression. Powerful kids.
For sure. Billy, who becomes Wiccan later, has powers kind of like Wanda's, right? Mind stuff, reality warping, telepathy.
And Tommy's the speedster, like his Uncle Quicksilver.
Yep. And we even saw Billy doing some pretty serious stuff in Agatha all along.
Oh, yeah. Helping break Wanda's spell, creating that Witch's Road thing to find Tommy. That was impressive.
Definitely powerful, especially for their age and within what we've seen so far in the MCU.
And this is the core argument from that Screen Rant piece. Franklin Richards is just on another level.
A whole other level, yeah. That's the takeaway.
Okay, so let's get specific. What can Franklin actually do in the comics?
Well, I mean, where do you start? Reality warping is the big one. Manipulating matter, energy. He has massive psionic abilities. And the really mind-bending part.
Creating universes?
Creating his own universes, yeah. Stable ones.
Okay, wait, so Billy made the Witch's Road, which was kind of like a temporary dimension.
Right. Temporary, maybe less stable. Franklin's reality manipulation is shown as, well, far more powerful, more refined, on a cosmic scale, really.
The article called him, what was the exact phrase?
Something like the strongest and most incomprehensibly powered mutant in existence.
Wow. Okay, that's definitive.
It really is. And it's not just raw power either. There's this element of control, or at least attempted control.
Right. I remember reading he tries to limit himself, to live normally.
Yeah, that's a key part of his character. He apparently tries to hold back, maybe only unleashing his full power like once a year or something.
Which tells you how immense that power must be if he has to actively suppress it like that.
Exactly. Gives you a sense of the scale.
And this isn't just like potential power. The article mentioned specific examples, right?
Yeah.
Beyond just making pocket universes.
Oh, yeah. The big one is his role after the 2015 Secret Wars event in the comics.
Secret Wars, okay. Huge crossover, multiverse collapsing.
Pretty much the end of everything. And Franklin was apparently instrumental in helping to, well, remake the multiverse afterwards.
Reshaping the entire multiverse. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a different category of power altogether.
It really, really is. And that's why bringing him into the MCU is such a massive, massive deal.
Like the article says, it could change the shape of the MCU forever.
That sums it up pretty well, I think.
So let's just wrap our heads around this. Franklin Richards showing up in Fantastic Four, first steps. It isn't just adding a new face.
Nope. It's potentially introducing the most powerful character we've seen yet. Period.
His power ceiling just seems astronomically higher than, well, pretty much anyone, including Billy and Tommy.
Yeah, they're powerful, but Franklin seems to operate on a completely different cosmological scale based on the comics.
He represents a totally new tier of power.
Yeah.
And how the MCU decides to actually show that, how they use him.
That's going to be fascinating. And maybe a little tricky, writing-wise. How do you challenge a character like that?
It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? Like, how does the MCU handle someone who can literally rewrite reality or make universes?
What kind of stories can you even tell? What kind of threats are left?
Could his arrival hint at, I don't know, even bigger cosmic stuff coming? Threats that make Thanos look small?
It's possible. His presence alone raises the stakes for the entire universe. Or maybe multiverse.
Definitely leaves you with a lot to chew on about where the MCU is heading next.